Sam Dawson lost his wife to the same fever that now burned in his daughter Clara's small body. The valley called it the wasting cough, and 6 children had already died since the spring rains failed. Doc Harmon said Clara had 2 weeks left unless a miracle arrived in the form of medicine. Sam sat by her bedside every night, watching her chest rise and fall like a fragile bird's wings. One evening, just before sunset, Clara sat up and pointed at the window with wide, excited eyes. She whispered, "There is a horse outside, and it is made of moonlight and starlight and old silver mist." Sam looked, but saw nothing except the dusty yard and the empty corral where no horse stood. Clara insisted that the horse was waiting for her, and she climbed out of bed, weak but determined. She walked to the door, and Sam followed because he could not let his daughter go alone into darkness. Outside, the air grew cold, and then Sam saw a pale horse glowing with soft blue light. The horse had no rider, but a saddle of braided leather and reins that looked like woven spider silk. Clara reached up and the horse knelt so she could climb onto its back without any help at all. Sam tried to grab her, but his hands passed through the horse as if it were morning fog. The horse turned its head and looked at Sam with eyes that held the memory of every star ever born. Clara smiled down at her father and said, "Do not worry, the horse knows where the cure is hidden." Then the horse galloped toward the mesa with Clara holding its mane and laughing for the first time in weeks. Sam ran after them, but his old legs could not keep up with a creature that left no hoofprints behind. He fell to his knees and prayed to whatever god or ghost might listen to a desperate rancher's cry. When he looked up, the horse and Clara had vanished into a crack in the cliff that he had never noticed. Sam crawled into the crack and found a narrow passage that opened into a hidden canyon untouched by time. The canyon floor was covered in flowers that glowed with the same pale light as the ghost horse ahead. He followed the glow until he reached a mine entrance shaped like the skull of an ancient buffalo. Inside the mine, the horse stood waiting with Clara still on its back, her cheeks flushed with color already. The horse nodded toward a vein of crystal growing from the wall like frozen golden honey dripping slowly. Clara slid down and broke off a piece of crystal, which hummed with warmth and smelled of pine and rain. She placed it on her tongue, and immediately her cough stopped, and her breathing became deep and easy again. Sam cried and hugged his daughter while the horse watched with patience that belonged to creatures older than time. Clara turned to the horse and asked, "Who are you? And why did you help us tonight truly?" The horse lowered its head, and a shimmering shape rose from its back, the ghost of a young cowboy. The cowboy wore a torn Union Army coat, and his face was kind with eyes the same blue as Clara's. He said, "My name is Private Thomas Reed, and I died in this canyon during the war 30 years ago. I was carrying medicine for sick children when a flash flood swept me and my horse into this very mine. My horse died with me, but our love for helping the lost kept us bound to this place forever after." Sam asked why Thomas chose Clara, and Thomas pointed at a locket around Clara's neck with a faded photograph. The photograph showed a young soldier who was Thomas Reed's brother, and Clara was his great-granddaughter by blood. Thomas said, "I watched over my brother's family for 30 years, and now I finally met one of you." Clara hugged the ghost and felt his cold arms wrap around her with a love that crossed the veil between worlds. Thomas said, "You must take as much crystal as you can carry, because it will cure every sick child in the valley." Sam and Clara gathered chunks of the golden crystal into their pockets and shirts until they could hold no more. The ghost horse knelt again, and Clara climbed up while Sam walked behind them through the narrow canyon passage. When they emerged, the sun was rising, and the ghost horse faded like mist under the warm morning light. Thomas waved once and said, "I will always be here whenever a Dawson child needs a ride to safety ever." Clara ran to Doc Harmon's house and gave him a piece of the crystal to examine under his old microscope. Doc Harmon dissolved a shard in water and gave the liquid to a dying boy named Ezra as a test. Within 1 hour, Ezra sat up and asked for food, his fever gone and his lungs clear of the terrible cough. Word spread fast, and soon every family in the valley came to Sam's ranch asking for the miracle cure. Sam and Clara distributed the crystal until each sick person received a dose, and the wasting sickness vanished completely. The town held a celebration, and Clara stood on a table to tell everyone about the ghost horse and Thomas Reed. Some believed her, and some called it a tall tale, but the cured children knew the truth in their hearts. That night, Clara went to the edge of the mesa alone and called out, "Thank you, Thomas, for saving us all." The wind carried a soft whistle back to her, and she saw a distant blue light flicker on the canyon rim. Sam built a small shrine at the mine entrance with a cross and a lantern that burned every night without fail. Every year on the anniversary of her cure, Clara returned to the canyon with fresh flowers for Thomas Reed's ghost. She grew up to be a doctor, and she always kept a piece of the golden crystal in her pocket always. When Clara had her own daughter, she named her Thomasina after the uncle who rode a ghost horse to save them. Thomasina saw the horse when she was 7 years old, and it took her to a new vein of crystal deeper inside. The canyon never ran out of the healing mineral, and the valley became famous for its miracle mine of golden light. Ranchers from hundreds of miles away came to trade for the crystal, and Sam's ranch prospered beyond his wildest dreams. But Sam never forgot the ghost who knelt, so a little girl could climb onto its back and ride to hope. He carved a wooden statue of the ghost horse and placed it in the town square for everyone to see forever. Children would touch the statue's nose and whisper wishes, and some swore the statue's eyes glowed at twilight softly. Clara married a kind man named Jacob, who accepted that his wife spoke to ghosts and rode invisible horses often. On their wedding day, a blue light appeared at the back of the church, and Clara knew Thomas approved of Jacob. Thomas Reed's ghost appeared one last time when Clara gave birth to Thomasina, and he held the baby briefly gently. He said, "The family line is strong now, and my duty is done, so I must cross over to final peace." Clara wept but nodded, because she understood that even ghosts deserved to rest after 30 years of faithful watching. Thomas faded into golden light, and the ghost horse faded with him, leaving behind one single silver horseshoe as proof. Clara kept that horseshoe above her fireplace and told Thomasina never to doubt that love outlasts death forever. The mine still produces crystal to this day, and no one has ever seen the ghost horse since Thomas crossed over. But every few years, a child in the Dawson family will dream of a blue light and wake up completely healed. Sam lived to see Thomasina become a healer like her mother, and he died peacefully under the old cottonwood tree. His grave faces the canyon, and visitors say a horse made of moonlight sometimes stands beside it on foggy nights. So remember that help can come from places you cannot see and from ancestors who refuse to abandon their own. If you have ever lost someone you love, know that they may still be riding a ghost horse to protect you. Subscribe to West Old Stories Official by clicking the red button, because we bring you miracles from the frontier weekly. Like this video if you believe in ghost horses or have your own story of an unseen helper saving your life. Comment below with the name of someone you wish could send a ghost horse to watch over your family today. We read every comment, and your stories inspire us to dig deeper into the Old West's most beautiful secrets. Share this video with a friend who needs to hear that love does not end when the heart stops beating ever. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another Western curiosity that will make you cry happy tears. Our next video is about a cowboy who found a talking coyote that led him to buried gold and redemption. Until then, keep your lantern lit for the ghosts who love you, because they are closer than you think right now. This has been a West Old Stories official production, made with heart and the dust of the real frontier spirit. Thank you for watching, and remember that every valley has its hidden canyon, and every child has a ghost horse waiting.